Today, we live in a world that revolves around oil and other inefficient energy sources. As humans, we are constantly burning fossil fuels, very inefficient and impractical energy sources. Power plants emit enormous amounts of pollution into the air every second. If we want to preserve our current lifestyle and, more importantly, our world, then we must seek out alternative energy sources. When the average person hears the term alternative energy, he immediately thinks of the massive fields of wind power plants or the typical solar power cells that we see in our daily lives. Today, we will focus on a lesser known source, solar thermal energy. Solar thermal energy is the process of using the sun to create heat. The sun's rays are absorbed by solar thermal collectors and then turned into heat. The heat is then applied to a liquid which takes it to a water heater. Inside the water heater, there is a heat exchanger which allows this liquid to transfer its heat before returning to the thermal collectors to be reheated. The main difference between solar thermal energy and the typical solar power we think of is that solar thermal energy creates heat, not electricity. So what's so great about these weird looking mirrors that heat water? Well, first let's start off with the pricing. Say you have a large business that requires a lot of heated water. Implementing a solar thermal system could save you over 70% of what you were paying for your water to be heated by traditional methods. The main reason for this cost efficiency is that the energy is renewable. It will never die out. The initial cost may not seem cheap, but over the long run, it will pay for itself 10 times over. Using this source of energy will also greatly decrease your carbon footprint. The reason it reduces your carbon footprint is because it uses zero fossil fuels and is a completely renewable source of energy. An example of solar thermal energy today is the Crescent Dunes power plant in Nevada. It is set to start generating energy this month to power over 75,000 Nevada homes. This plant uses fields of mirrors to reflect the sun's rays at sun towers.
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Another example is a technology company in North Carolina that recently put solar thermal panels on their office building. This allowed the opportunity for tax cuts and saved them over $12,000 annually because they were using this renewable energy source instead of fossil fuels. More importantly, it allowed them to reduce their carbon footprint. Solar energy is not a new thing. The first time solar energy was discovered traces back to 700 BC when magnifying glasses were used to kill and burn ants.
And start fires.
As great as this energy source is, there are some minor disadvantages. The most obvious is the high initial cost, as the mirrors are very expensive. Also, this method uses tons of water, so it's not ideal for dry climates such as deserts. However, only certain places, such as deserts, have enough solar radiation to support a solar thermal energy power plant. Overall, the benefits will eventually outweigh these disadvantages, making solar thermal energy a very efficient and global-minded energy source. Make a conscious decision and go solar thermal.
At least I have chicken.